Reggie, we're not in courtroom anymore. I agree with you, Scoop. Who knew the game Royal Food Tasters and Arabian was a dangerous job? Your brother, Reggie.
Hey there, guys. It's me, the media guy here. Today, I'm here to share my thoughts on a movie that some of you may or may not have heard of before, unless you saw other people on YouTube like 47 Cartoon Guy, Ashton Hardy, or JB and Millie, or Scooby-Topia talk about this movie. I guess Scooby-Topia hasn't talked about this movie, but he might as well. Anyways, I'm here to share my thoughts on Scooby-Doo Arabian Nights. Join Scooby-Doo and Shaggy on their most adventurous gig yet. No kidding for these guys. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy traveled to Arabia to become the Caliph's royal food tasters, but they bite off more than they can chew and are forced to run for their lives. Oh boy, it's a wild magic carpet ride as Shaggy and Scooby-Doo and the genie, Yogi Bear, and a jolly sailor named Sinbad, Magilla Gorilla, take you on an adventure of mistaken identities, exotic locations, and fun-filled action and surprises. So, in a nutshell, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo had to become royal food tasters at the Arabian palace, but accidentally ate up all the food by mistake, and were forced to tell Arabian stories to a prince. One is Aladdin, which is meant to be like a cartoony Hanna-Barbera version of Aladdin, and Sinbad the Sailor, which is also another take on the Sinbad story. But for these are more like family friendly. So what do I think about this movie? Sure, maybe it's not like 100% perfect, but I think this is a harmless movie for everyone who enjoys a good Arabian Nights story, or Hanna-Barbera in general, which is fine by me. Shaggy and Scooby are still recognizable, and it is cool that this movie also has a guest appearance by other Hanna-Barbera characters like Yogi Bear and Boo Boo and Magilla Gorilla, which is kind of funny when you think about it. It's also ironic that Scooby, Shaggy, Yogi, and Boo Boo were competitors in Laugh Olympics. Magilla Gorilla and Yogi Bear appeared in Scooby-Doo Team Up. Magilla Gorilla was a guest appearance on Scooby-Doo and Guess So Cold. People's Pet Shop of Terrible Terrors, also starring Wanda Sykes. Mystery Inc., Yogi and Boo Boo, and Magilla Gorilla were background cameos in Space Jam 2 and No Legacy, a movie that I still defend. And they recently appeared in an episode of Teen Titans Go, where they celebrated the 100th anniversary of Warner Brothers. And okay, I guess I'll include Jellystone, since Magilla, Gorilla, Yogi, Cindy, and Boo Boo are citizens there, and Mystery Inc. did appear in one episode in some of the later seasons. Just thought I'd bring that up. It's a fun movie for everyone to enjoy. And sure, maybe you might not like it that much, but hey, not every movie can be perfect. It is kind of funny seeing Boo Boo and Yogi be genies to this Princess Aladdin, which you can obviously tell that it's meant to be like a different version of the Aladdin story. As for Magilla Gorilla appearing in the Sinbad the Sailor story, that one is more like a comical treasure hunt type adventure. And funny enough, Magilla Gorilla did want a cruise ship, but wasn't quite sure which one's the right one. So he actually went to the one on the right, which turns out to be a pirate ship by mistake. To be fair, Magilla Gorilla might not be that bright, but it's not his fault. He doesn't know any better. Anyways, the voice cast is still great. Don Messick as Yogi. Don Messick as Boo Boo Bear and Scooby-Doo. Casey Kasem as Shaggy. Dawes Butler as Yogi Bear. And Alan Melvin as Magilla Gorilla. And I think this is the last Hanna-Barbera project to have Alan Melvin as the voice of Magilla Gorilla, if I'm correct. And I think this is also the last Scooby-Doo related project to have Don Messick be the voice of Scooby-Doo until its passing 3 years later. Yeah, 3 years later. So I'm not gonna make a big fuss about this. It's probably one of those movies. It's probably one of those type of guilty pleasure movies. Some people like it, some people hate it, and some are probably just split down the middle. Depending on your point of view. I also find it interesting that this movie probably uses the same animation style for a pup named Scooby-Doo. And I mean it. I remember watching this movie a long time ago, and after rewatching it again, it does seem to have that Scooby-Doo. It does have that a pup named Scooby-Doo vibe, since it does use the original animation style from that show. And this isn't the first time that a Scooby-Doo related movie uses a different type of animation style from a different TV show. I mean, we all know that Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo used the same animation style from Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, mainly the second season in general, technically. But besides that, I think Scooby-Doo and Arabian Nights is an interesting and pretty much a harmless movie. And if you're into Hanna-Barbera and Arabian Nights, this one might be up your alley. So I'll probably give this movie 5 magical genies out of 5. And do you guys have any favorite memories from this movie? Just let me know down in the comments below if you do have any favorite memories of this movie. Whether you saw it on cable TV, like Cartoon Network and Boomerang, or maybe own a VHS and DVD copy of this movie. Kind of like how I own this movie on DVD. And again, it is cool to see Yogi Bear and Magilla Gorilla make a guest appearance in this movie. And like I said before, it is common for most sorry for the stutters and slur words. It is common for most Hanna-Barbera properties to cross over with each other. The aforementioned Laugh Olympics is a great example, and so is the Jetsons meet the Flintstones, and I guess I will include Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, since it does include a few Hanna-Barbera characters appearing in the show as cameos or guest stars like the Funky Phantom Crew, Speed Buggy, Blue Falcon, and Dynomutt, and Magilla Gorilla. So anyways, that's all I have for you guys today, and make sure you stay awesome.
Right, Raven.